This is video number 8 for things not working in the iRIC platform, and it concerns using the erosion field creation tool in iRIC itself. And this is the erosion tool in iRIC that you can use to create an erosion field. And luckily, this is not a big problem. It's just something that if there was an error message, it would help you solve your issue here. So let me show you what's going on. First of all, we're going to use the erosion grid creator in iRIC. The good news is that it works. But the problem is that you need to know that when you're using this particular way of making an erosion grid, you have to go indicate to the program that you're using it first. If you don't do that, it won't work. And there's nothing that tells you that. So I suggest that we have a user error message appear when you start to create the erosion field. And you'll see there's an opportunity for that that already sort of exists. Okay. And lastly, I will show you how there is already an error message for a very similar situation. Okay. Now, best thing to do is to show you how it works. Now we load a project and we have the center line here. Now I'll show you how you create an erosion field. Now here is the opportunity. You see this message that comes up? This is with iRIC itself. I don't think Frank put this one in. It tells you how to make the erosion field. Please define the polygon by mouse clicking. Finish defining by double clicking. In this message or a similar message, we should say, in order for this to actually work, you need to go someplace else and click a box. I'm going to show you how it doesn't work now because we haven't clicked that box. But here's a place where the message could appear. Okay, so let me do a very, very simple erosion field. There's polygon 1, and I'm going to make that move not so much. I mean, hardly at all. 500 is not so much. I'm going to add another polygon, and we still have that message, which is good. And I'm going to go down to this bend here, and I'm going to set this bend at a rather outrageously fast erosion rate. Well, that's too much even. Okay. Now, we would hope that it would run. We'll see what happens when we run it. When we run it, it says polygon 2 and polygon 1 are not mapped after they were edited last time. Do you want to execute mapping? Okay, let's map them. Okay, so it got mapped. Okay. Not exactly sure what that is, but there it goes. Now we're going to run it, try to run it again. And it's going to override our data, which is okay with me. Do you want to save the project? Yes. We saved the project. And there it is, running. Great. One would think that it ran perfectly and that it used this erosion field. So when we go and look at the results, what we see is that bend didn't move at all. Or very, very little. It may have moved a little bit, but it didn't move at all like we would expect it to do with the erosion field that we gave it. Why is that? Well, I'll show you why that is. Because when we were doing it, we needed to go to erosion algorithm factors, and we needed to choose the polygon erodibility map. Save and close. Now when we do that, and we run it, we override our data, we save, we have a hint that it's working because it's running slower. Now it's only if you're really familiar with this and you know that that exists there that you go and you change it. As you can see, it ran before, it showed like it ran, but it didn't actually use the erosion field. Okay, now that we've finished, let's go and see what it looks like. Okay, now you can probably see that bend has moved a lot, and pretty much the other ones haven't moved because I gave them an erosion thing. So it works. It works. Let me show you a very similar situation where there is an error message. Okay. Let's say that we had this as the erodibility grid. Okay. And we saved and closed. Now, let's say we made this and we're trying to run it, and we start to run it, and it says, you want to overwrite your data? Do you want to save your file? Yes. And it said the solver finished calculation. How could that be? So there was no error message there. So what we have here is another problem that I've just bumped into that I wasn't aware of. And that is, I think you're using this, but in fact, it's actually set on erodibility grid. And you try and use it, save it, it says that the solver finished calculation, but of course it didn't do a run at all. An error message there would be very useful. Now I'll show you where an error message exists in a very similar situation. We start the iRIC program, and we have that same situation that we talked about here. And now I'm going to create a grid. I'm going to make a very simple one, just to illustrate my point. And I'm going to set this to migrate quite a bit. Okay. And now I'm going to run it. Okay. Do you want to execute your mapping now? Yes. Yes. Let's run it. Recommend that you save it. Okay. Here's where the error shows. It says that it finished calculation, but it gave me an error. You couldn't open the erodibility file. It caught an error in creating Erodibility Manager. So that tells you that although you tried to run it here, that indeed, when you go back to your calculation condition and setting under erosion, that it was set for erodibility grid, which is something that you import, not for the polygon erodibility map. And you see how it created that error and showed me that error? Which was very useful. And it doesn't in other cases. So adding error files when it, just like this one, would be useful. If there's any question, we can talk more about it.